Alright, so with Estarossa being almost basically confirmed to come out next week, I'm very curious to see what people want him to do. Because this could be a pretty big deal. If they really make this Estarossa broken, it could be huge for so many characters that have been just not very good right now. And so many so many possible ways that he could shift the meta that I would love. But yeah, I asked people here in the community tab, we know Estarossa comes in a week, what do you want him to do? And I'll be reading some, but before I actually read, I do want to talk about what I want him to do, and then we'll give a read from these comments. I've not read any yet. Personally, I just really hope that he is a DN counter, or in general, a Tarmio Link counter. Tarmio Link has honestly been awful to the meta in general, not just the end Tarmio Link, just Tarmio Link in general, I think was just an awful decision. And I just really hope that he not only can, first off, completely cock Tarmio Link, in a way that there's no way, I don't think, that Tarmio Link will be completely eviscerated at this point. Tarmio Link is just way too strong. But in a way, at least, that will make it less awful to play against. Because the way it is right now, fighting against a Tarmio Link DN, it just makes you not want to play the game. Like, I know people that, used to get Champ 1 every week, that just, since Tarmio Link, just haven't. They just stopped playing because they just don't want to deal with it. They didn't summon for Tarmio because his banner was awful, and, it is what it is. The banner was awful. And the meta right now is very reliant on Tarmio. Like, if you're not using Tarmio, you're in a massive disadvantage. Immense disadvantage. So that's personally what I want. And if possible, if he could, make other demons viable again. Like, I'm not asking for, like, Mon Speed should be the best unit in the game. I'm just saying, if I can have the option to use more demons than only Trader Meliodas, because he's the only real good demon in the game right now, I would love that. So those are my requests. We'll see how it does, but let's take a look at the replies here. So first comment, top comment, needs a card that seals ults for ult rush teams. And on the same card seals recovery for Tarmio Link. So that's a double down. Not only cucking Tarmio, but also DN in general. And again, like, if you cuck Tarmio, you cuck DN. Because DN is nothing without Tarmio Link. Like, generally, like, she was mid, super mid at launch for a reason. And now, obviously, she's, like, the best fast in the game because of Tarmio Link. But, if Tarmio Link goes, the end goes. And ult rush will definitely be very weakened. And, yeah, same here. Let me click on read more. Very long, but we'll give it a read. First of all, although I think it's impossible, here it goes. Since he currently absorbed 3 commandments, wouldn't it be great if each commandment had a different effect on a specific section of the game? Example, one commandment has one effect on demon beasts, one on PvE, and one on PvP. As long as his normal passive is something like buffing demons in general or just himself. For his attribute, I would like him to be dark, honestly, he could be epic. I don't think he'll be dark, personally. This is out of the comment. Just me. I personally don't think he's going to be dark. I wouldn't mind it, though. But I don't think he will be. I think dark and light attributes will be, like, for, like, very, very, like, special characters. Which, although Estarossa is maybe a special character, I don't think he would qualify for it, but we'll see. If it is, I wouldn't be complaining. Because obviously dark is so powerful. Just dark and light are very powerful, just inherently. It'd be epic if later Mael turns out to be a light attribute and the version of the bell with the bell has both. Oh, that'd be crazy. For his cards, I think an AoE with Infect or Flood would be great, and a single target power strike. Flying's ult to be Abyss. Abyss. Abyss is really powerful. Rimmer brought back Abyss in a big way, right? Because, like, the 2 characters that had Abyss really were getting, pretty outdated. Festival King before his Relic, especially. Even after his Relic, it's not really used. But Abyss is just such a powerful effect, isn't it? Like, he makes, like, a very ult level sorry, very low ult level ultimate still be able to wipe, just because of how powerful it is. But I think I would love, not for Estarossa, but I would love to see an AoE death ultimate. Imagine how crazy that would be. Maybe it would be too broken for PvP, but for the dogs, right? I would love if like the Ragnarok character had like AoE death. Or maybe this Estarossa would have AoE death, but we'll see. I mean, this I think a lot of things here are pretty... Like, if Netmarble had a more creative mind, I would believe that this could be a thing. You know, because I think that they play very samey. I don't think that they have right now the resources with their like skeleton crew to like go like crazy on like changing up things. Which is why I think he's gonna be like a regular character with nothing special about him. Like 3 commandments and like, you know, him being dark and then Mael being light. I don't think that they have the team for that anymore, since most of their team is probably working on Origin. But it would be sick, obviously. I want him to be a big damage, such constant threat unit that works on his own. So the Assault Melee team can have that unit that's strong turn 1, so he can be used on other teams. Yeah, one thing about Assault Melee is that a lot of people are really hoping that he will revive Assault Melee. And obviously that would be cool. With him releasing and like Assault Melee getting a relic, it would be sick to see Assault Melee making a comeback. But the inherent issue for Assault Melee right now, I can't believe this bond survived, is that Trader Melee exists. Like, it, regardless of maybe him being a great demon buffer, Assault Melee has to compete with Trader Melee, and that's just not good for him. Unless they would give him like a stupid powerful Holy Relic, I don't see Assault Melee making a comeback ever. Just because Trader Melee is just way too powerful. Simple as that, right? And it is what it is. Trader Melee is just the best overall unit in the game. I still think Rimuru is a better PvP unit for the most part. And like DN is still a better PvP unit with Tarmiel. But overall in the game, I think Trader Melee still holds up as #1. And, you know, Assault Melee, he just has very old stats. His AoE sucks, while Trader Melee is a Pierce AoE. So even if, right, you could run him on Assault Melee, it would be always better to run him with Trader Melee instead, which is very unfortunate because Assault Melee has this like interesting gimmick where you want your whole team to be demons, which makes sense. Like it is such an interesting gimmick that doesn't really work anymore, and it's very unfortunate. But I wouldn't mind if Assault Melee gets a super powerful Holy Relic, if he made a slight comeback. I wouldn't want him to be meta because an Assault Melee meta would honestly suck. Like, really think about it. It would suck. But if he would be usable, I wouldn't mind it. I think he would be a fun troll character. Increases basic stats by 15% for each demon on the battlefield. Up to 3 times. Increases damage dealt by 10% for each debuff on him. Make him deal HP based damage of his command lower attack. Oh, I do not want his command to lower attack. Estarossa is so annoying. Like, I love... Green Estarossa is one of my favorite characters ever to have released. But facing him is a nuisance every single time. Not anymore, because obviously he's really bad, but back when he was good, if you didn't have the cleanse or the immunity yourself, God, was he annoying to face with the attack lowers. But I mean, this doesn't look bad. Honestly, this passive is pretty bad. Overall. Like, increases by 45% basic stats, that's not very much. Damage dealt by 10% for each debuff, and that's not very much. Can't really control that as well. Kind of want to see something like the antithesis of Trader Melee, where he's getting buffed as he hits AoE attacks. Oh, maybe a stab buff based on enemies hit. I also want to see them bring back the whole no crit thing they did with Zaldris. Also, we just see multi-command. One thing I haven't seen here yet is, you know, he says like, you know, the opposite of Trader Melee, where instead of single targets AoEs. Imagine if, you know, we could do that, and he would do the opposite of Rimuru, where for each debuff removed on your team, like he removes a debuff on all allies, and for each debuff it increases his stats as well. I think that would also work pretty... It wouldn't be as powerful as Rumor, I don't think, but it would be pretty decent as a side thing on his passive as well. But I like the idea of the AoEs because, you know, in PvP, AoEs are much more prevalent in terms of ults, I feel like. And one thing that I hate about Trader Meli is that you can't stack on with all these AoE ultimates, right? And of course, there's so many AoE attacks that are powerful. Meli himself is a very powerful AoE, right? So you could run him out with Trader Meli and not rely on just one type of card, but maybe two. Maybe it would be annoying to run them both together at that point, but it wouldn't be the worst. I think if he, instead of giving damage reduction, he would give like damage increase for every AoE. Like, you know how for each 2 single targets, Meli gives all allies 8% damage reduction. If he gives all allies 8% damage increase for 2 AoEs, imagine stacking both together, how crazy that would be. But obviously you wouldn't be able to stack, you know, both stacks in one turn because you only have 3 cards you can do. I mean, that would be also a pretty cool thing to see. But yeah, that's not a bad idea for sure. Multi-commandment again. Same thing I said, right? Like, if Netmarble, I think, had more resources right now invested in Grand Cross, I think we could see something like that. But as it stands, I'm pretty sure they're like right now, they have like all their workers on Origin, unfortunately. So I although I would love to see that, I don't expect it. This is pretty long, but we can give it a read. It has 10 likes, so. The start of allies start increases all allies attack resistance by 5% and heal 10% max HP if allies in the field are demon increase. Oh, if all allies in the field are demon, increase on pierce by 30%. And one thing right now in PvP is you don't want a passive like Green Gaffer, right? One of the reasons why Green Gaffer isn't meta anymore is that it just takes him way too long to get going and max out his passive. It takes 5 turns to max out his passive, which is way too long for current standards. A passive that builds up like that every turn and not every action, I don't think would work as well in the current meta. And again, the best example for that is Green Gaffer, where he used to be everywhere, now you don't see him as much. That's also contributed, obviously, on the fact that his stats are pretty bad now. So he dies very easily. But I think that the biggest thing is not even, I think the biggest thing is not that. I think the biggest thing for him, the biggest issue for him is the fact that he builds up so slowly now. So personally, I wouldn't want to see a passive like that, but it wouldn't be the worst thing ever. It would work pretty well maybe on dogs, because it takes so long, but I don't know. Disables all skills but attack skills and restricts recovery based stats. That's true insane for an attack card. It would be a debuff, but anything that would seal recovery seems to be what people want to see, which makes sense. No one likes Red Tarmiel. Like, since day one, like when we saw the details for Red Tarmiel, I said like this is gonna ruin PvP, and look where we are. It sucks. Red Tarmiel was a mistake. Inflicts Pierce equal to... Pierce cards are hot right now. You know, Trader Meli and Rimuru are so popular and they both have Pierce. I would love if the Chandler that got leaked, if you guys are unaware, you know, we got a leak for a Demon Chandler, if his passive is correct, because on his passive, he buffed Demon Allies Pierce by, I think, 40%. That would be so good. So good for Trader Meli. Again, not very good for Assault Meli, but as we just said, like, I don't have much hope that Assault Meli would ever recover unless he gets a absolutely absurd Holy Relic. Ultimate cancels buff on all enemies, applies 5 ignites effects for 3 turns on enemies and inflicts damage equal to 600. That's very bad. the 5 ignites is actually not bad, but the multiplier is very bad. You would also need like cleave or something. Because 5 ignites is like 50%. So the ultimate would have a 650% multiplier. That's really bad. But I like the concept. Some really bad stuff, but I like the concept. Why am I being so harsh? This is a nice comment, but you know, I'm just saying like it wouldn't be very good. I just know, just looking at the multiplier being so low, like Meli has a low multiplier. Trillion Meli, unless that's a 1/6. If it's 600% at 1/6, that'll be true. That'll be too much then. But Trillion Meli, right? If you see here, damn it, can I? His multiplier is only 585. Oh, you can, damn it. His multiplier is only 585, but that's because he lowers enemies' all stats by 30%, and he has cleave, which increases the damage by 100% of crit damage. Like, his multiplier, realistically, is like 900%. Like, realistically, 900, 1,000%. His multiplier is like the one's multiplier. But obviously the one has death, but... And he has AoE, but... It's somewhere around that, because of how powerful the cleave, plus the lowering stats is. Single target sever, AoE pierce, ult AoE power strike. Oh yeah, bro, I remember when Terry came out, and I was like convinced that they were gonna release a festival with a power strike AoE, because he had power strike AoE ultimate. I was like so convinced, like there's no way they're dropping this Terry with the power strike AoE ultimate, and like the next or the few next festivals is not gonna see it, and we have not seen it yet. Like, why are they waiting so long? Because that power strike ultimate is powerful, really powerful. Passive for every demon ally on the battlefield. Increases basic stats of all allies by 15%. Works on every game mode. And while he's on the back, basic stats is pretty bad. I mean, for a festival character. For like a normal character, I wouldn't say it's bad. You'd be like all stats by 15%. Commandment. When the heroes hit, grants a great debuff on the enemies, which lasts for 2 turns. Seals ult gauge and decrease. Oh, that's just cancer. So to be fair, they could just not attack you. In an ult rush team, they could just not attack you. I'll read just one more. I am done with my PvP stamina. And I just want to check out your champ 1 while recording this, and I already did, so. Cards. First card, weak point. Second card, AoE pierce. Passive at the start of every turn, apply dark field, which decreases the enemy's attack related stats and HP by 5%. Can be stacked up to 5 times. Then increases all stats by 5% for each debuff on the enemies. If you stats increase, successfully reach 20%, max passive. Increases basic stats on allies by 15%. When the hero attacks an enemy, deals additional damage by 30% of the enemy's HP. That's honestly very good and realistic. That's actually the like almost like an opposite Assault Melee. Like I said, buffing your team every turn isn't the best, but debuffing your team, your enemies every turn is something that would, I think, work much better. And you know, 5% attack related stats is big. That's the difference between being crit and not being crit sometimes. And the ult AoE Abyss, of course, Abyss. I mean, I like a lot of these concepts. People can be very creative. I hope he's really good. You know, I've been talking to some people, and you know, we're kind of scared that Estarossa is going to be bad because of the track record we've had with Holy War festivals. But I have hope. If this Estarossa is really good and the relics for demons are really good, we can see demons finally being like prevalent in the game again. Because I feel like demons have been outside of Trillion Meli, like Trillion Meli again. He's like the overall best character in the game. But outside of Trillion Meli, demons have been in the gutter. Like, if you go look at the list of demons, let me take this off the screen. You sort by demons here. Really, only Assault Melee is good. Like, Zeldris is okay still because of Lilia teams, but Lilia teams are getting less and less prevalent. I'll give him. He's a fourth, but I'll give him that. Kusok, kinda good for Bird. He's good for a fast team, I guess. Everyone else, I mean, Darriere is good for Belmoth. Melascula can be an option for dogs if you're a humongous whale with everything 6/6. At that point, you might as well use Frere. That's about it. So, yeah. Oh, Lost Vein Relic would be... It has to be good, right? No Copium.